now the AFC West. I mean, the Chiefs pulled one out. The Broncos put the bang thing on the Giants, and then you were physically there in FedEx Field calling the Chargers game locally here on the radio. What did you see from the Chargers and Brandon Staley that's different? What do you see that's something that's different as they came out with the win?
Yeah, well, first of all, Rich, I'm going to get to that in just a second, but I do want to let you know,
yes, sir.
I pulled over in a strip mall to make sure that we could do this interview without having to go through Bluetooth, and I pulled in front of a Felipe's Pizza,
yes,
which I'm assuming is probably lunch is when that opens.
Okay.
And so the guy just came in here, probably the owner, and just stared at me for a good long while, like, why does this guy want pizza for breakfast? Like, we're not open, buddy. Like, come on.
You should look at him and say, Felipe, I watched the Raiders and Ravens last night. I'm hungry. Okay? It's like I went to Vegas last night. This is what you do the next morning. Like, that's what you should say.
What is this whack job doing sitting? I'm the only one in the parking lot. Like, bud, you're going to have to wait. No, to me, with the Chargers,
nice.
I go back and you think about Justin Herbert in college, right, Rich? They had a pretty good offensive line. They had no receivers. He puts himself into a top 10 pick. Goes to the Chargers, got some receivers. Offensive line's terrible. He's the Rookie of the Year. Now we're getting a chance to see Justin Herbert with all of his talent. Now he's got those receivers back again with Keenan Allen, who nobody can cover on third down. Nobody. And now with Rashawn Slater and Filer and Ibushi, who played pretty well, they've got a Corey Linsley, who's arguably the best center in the NFL. They have not a good offensive line, but the makings of a great offensive line. And he was outstanding. Then you flip over to the other side and you go, okay, man, Joey Bosa, I don't know what the PFF numbers, you can look them up, but his win rate was off the charts. Cosme, the rookie tackle, had no chance against him. So you've got Joey Bosa healthy, you've got Derwin James out there healthy, and you're sitting up there in the booth calling the game, and you're like, this has got a chance to be a really, really good football team. And I go back to what we saw last night with the Raiders and the Chiefs coming back to beat the Browns, the Broncos going on the road. The football on the West Coast right now, yep. AFC West, NFC West, is
perfect.
Darn good.
It's perfect. It's unblemished. And what you just said about Justin Herbert and how he's in the second year and what a difference that makes because of what he went through last year. And obviously when a quarterback gets thrown into the mix like Herbert did last year, you don't see an offensive Rookie of the Year campaign coming. But it happens in the NFL, obviously. Mm-hmm. It's rare, but it happens. Isn't that a cautionary tale for Matt Nagy in Chicago? Throw your guy in, right? I mean, just do it. Why not? Because you can obviously reap the benefits later on next year. Start the clock now. And I understand that their line isn't terrific, but the Chargers line last year wasn't, all pro across the board. I mean, so go ahead and do it, right? Or am I wrong? Please tell me.
No, you're right. This is the Chargers line that tells you what Tom Telesco thought of it. They have, 4 new starters along that offensive line for Justin Herbert's second season. So, but Justin Herbert, with his athleticism, was able to get away from some pressure. They were able to move him around, and he was one of the best, third down players in the entire league. He was phenomenal last year. So, Justin Fields, to me, I look at it, Rich, and we've talked a little bit about it, but to me, are you mentally and physically tough enough for what's to come playing behind a bad offensive line? And I think he is. I think he's both. And I think he'll give you some creativity to be able to cover up some of those blemishes up front. And I want to get he's going to make mistakes. Justin Herbert made mistakes. I want to get those mistakes over with as fast as you can because I can tell you, firsthand having seen it. Justin Herbert, as great as he was, Rookie of the Year last year, this year he is on another level. I mean, I saw it going out to training camp. I've seen it in the first game against a really good Washington defense. So let's give him those valuable reps, that valuable experience, so you can get this thing turned around quicker. To me, it makes all the sense in the world, and it's encouraging that at least they sprinkled him in that game. So he's getting his feet wet a little bit, and maybe that's the thought process. Kind of gradually get him in there. But, man, I sure hope it's sooner than later.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.